Hello everyone, friends, this is a short summary of the film called This Vague Object of Desire. Perhaps aristocrat Matteo arrives at the station to buy a ticket to Paris. Today there are no tickets left, so the cashier offers the only option, to go on tomorrow's flight to Madrid, and from there, Paris. Matteo returns to his estate. The man asks the butler only one question. Where is she? He answers that the girl left 5 minutes ago. Together they enter a room, on the floor of which lies a pillow stained with blood. Matteo asks not to pay attention. The girl was bleeding from the nose, and the pillow needs to be thrown into the fireplace. In addition to the pillow on the floor, there are also women's shoes and panties, indicating that the girl ran away barefoot. In the morning, on one of the streets of Seville, a terrorist attack occurs right before the eyes of Matteo, hurrying to the station.
Quick, turn around. We're going to be late.
Having reached the train, the man enters a compartment in which there are people he knows. A woman with her daughter, who lives in Paris next door, watched him, and also the judge with whom he met. The man goes out to smoke and, in the window, notices a girl on the platform. Her face is bruised, and her forehead is covered with a bandage. Matteo persuades the driver to urgently set off. The girl reaches the carriage where Matteo is standing in the doorway. Matteo pours a bucket of water on the girl's head. Watching the departing train, the girl jumps into the last carriages, throwing out her suitcases with things. The neighbors in the compartment watch the antics of Matteo and the girl. The daughter of the neighbor becomes curious. Why did he do this? Matteo says that this girl is the most terrible woman on earth, but still, he will tell who she is and why he did it. This is exactly how, some time ago in Paris, Matteo invited his cousin, the judge, to dinner. Arriving at the estate, Matteo meets a new maid, a girl named Conchita. She got a job this morning, so Matteo sees her for the first time. She herself is Spanish but speaks French well, because she has lived in Paris for 10 years. In the evening, Matteo asks the butler to send Conchita to the room with a bottle of wine. From a conversation with the girl, Matteo learns that she is 18 years old. She has no father, her mother lives on the outskirts of Paris. Conchita does not like to work, but she does it in order to help her mother. Matteo bends down and kisses the girl, which is why Conchita says that it's time for her to go. In the morning, Matteo learns that Conchita left today without explaining the reason, leaving and not even asking for money. The butler found her through an ad, so he doesn't know the address of the girl Matteo is interested in. A few months later, Matteo goes to Switzerland. A man walking in the park is surrounded by thugs who demand money. But what's strange is that the robbers only need 800 francs. Having received the required amount, the thugs let Matteo go. At lunch, Conchita sits down at Matteo's table, handing him 800 francs. Matteo is glad to see her, but doesn't understand what kind of money this is. According to Conchita, those robbers are her friends. They are touring with concerts, but the notary ran away with the money, so the guys from her group decided to get the money in a not entirely legal way. Matteo persuades the girl to take the money back. It's time to go, and leaving, she gives the address where she lives in Paris. Returning to France, Matteo finds the apartment where Conchita lives with her mother. The woman promises to return the money that Matteo gave Conchita for tickets to France at the first opportunity, but now she is broke, just like the guys from Conchita's group, who also promised. There is no rush to return the money to Matteo, so he asks them not to rush, especially since he has never seen such a tactful robbery in his life. The girl's mother offers to have coffee with them at the table. The woman says that, because of her upbringing and lifestyle, she can't work, and they spend all day long in church. To the offer to work as a concierge, she refused. She is too proud and would rather kiss the floor in the church than work as a concierge. Taking out his wallet, Matteo puts a wad of money on the table. Since these poor things are so rich, he is ready to help them. The woman thanks Matteo and takes the money, leaves. Conchita says that if Matteo only needs sex from her, then he can safely get lost. Charmed by the beauty of the girl, Matteo comes to Conchita's apartment every day, not empty-handed. One day Matteo brings an expensive handbag as a gift, which the girl offers to give to her mother. She will be very happy with such a gift. Unable to bear it, Matteo begins to caress Conchita. She offers to listen to a song that she will perform, a song in Spanish, and in translation it says, "Lovers." Conchita plays with the man, but then kisses Matteo. The man tries to get under the girl's robe, but Conchita stops him. She knows that he only wants one thing from her. Matteo thinks that the girl has someone, since she acts like an impregnable fortress, but Conchita admits that she is still a virgin. A few days later, the girl's mother is met by the butler. Matteo asks the woman to go with him. Matteo wants to talk to her. Having met the woman, Matteo admits that he is in love with Conchita and wants the woman and her daughter to move in with him. Matteo promises that they will never need money, and they will especially never have to work. The man holds out an envelope full of money as payment, so that the woman can persuade Conchita to move in with Matteo. A few days later,
No, wait. It's her.
one of Conchita's friends appears at Mateo's house. He gives the man a letter in which the girl writes that she was going to give up her virginity to Mateo, and he decided to buy the girl from her mother, so he will never see her again. Mateo goes to Conchita's house, where the concierge says that both the girl and her mother left this morning. For 2 months, Mateo unsuccessfully tries to find Conchita, but all in vain. One day, he is sitting with his cousin, the judge, in a restaurant. As they are leaving, Mateo meets Conchita, who works as a cloakroom attendant in the restaurant. The restaurant manager scolds the girl for talking to customers instead of serving them. Conchita takes off her uniform and tells Mateo that she is now free, as she quit her job. While walking around the city, Mateo says that he has a country house and he dreams of showing it to her someday. Conchita expresses a desire to give herself to Mateo there, but 2 days later, at the appointed time, Mateo brings the girl to the country house. Conchita unbuttons her nightgown, exposing her breasts, and asks Mateo if the man likes her, after which she declares that she did not promise anything to Mateo, and today there will be nothing between them. Having had his fill of her game, Mateo is going to take her by force, but Conchita suddenly asks him to put out the candles. Having climbed under the blanket with the girl, the man discovers that she is wearing some kind of chastity belt. It turns out that Conchita gave the dinner of innocence before marriage. Only now, Mateo is not going to marry the girl. The man continues to date Conchita, giving her gifts. This continues, because of which Mateo begins to suspect that the girl is only dating him for money. So he doesn't hurry to unpack his armored pants, chases Conchita away from his room, but then hears a sound in the hallway. Noticing a broken vase near Conchita's room, Mateo demands that she open the door. The man finds one of the girl's friends. According to Conchita, the guy was kicked out of the hotel and has been sleeping here for several days. Mateo chases both of them out of his house. After some time, Mateo tells his cousin, the judge, that he can't do this anymore. He wants to see Conchita again, but someone must stop him from doing this, for example, the cousin. Having received consent from Mateo that he will not regret it, the cousin, the judge, sends police officers to the address of Conchita and her mother, with a ruling stating that these two must leave France within 24 hours. Mateo himself blindly chooses a place on the map where they will go with the butler. This place turns out to be Singapore, but in fact, Mateo is heading to Siberia, where Conchita is from. Walking in Seville in the evening, Mateo meets Conchita and her mother's girlfriend, although Mateo, for the fact that he threw both his friend out at night, but still, glad to see him. Conchita settled as a dancer in a cabaret nearby and calls Mateo to watch her dance. Having met the man in a cabaret, Conchita says that now they will never part. She has realized a lot and changed. Now she is not as capricious as before. At this moment, the girls whisper something. According to Conchita, the dancers are given half an hour to sleep so that they do not fall asleep on stage. Leaving, the girl asks him to wait. A woman sits down next to Mateo. She is surprised by his naivety and offers to look at Conchita's half-hour sleep upstairs. Behind one of the doors, covered with a screen, Mateo finds his favorite girl performing a striptease. Mateo knocks down the doors, drives away these lustful males, and then asks Conchita to leave with him. But the girl refuses. This is her only job. Now, if Mateo gave her some money and bought her a small house, then Conchita would agree to leave this place. For this, the girl promises to love Mateo and keep her virginity only for him. Following Conchita's lead, Mateo buys the house. For this, the girl offers to come to her tomorrow at midnight to visit her. She has something for the man. At the appointed hour, Mateo arrives to the girl, but Conchita does not let him go further. The girl demands that he kiss her hand and then asks Mateo to leave. The man does not understand what is happening. Conchita says that she is simply shaking from Mateo. She hates him, and never loved him. The girl calls the boy who was hiding in Mateo's house and begins to kiss him, after which she takes a blanket and spreads it next to the gate. Taking off her clothes, Conchita and the boy lie down on the blanket. At breakfast, Conchita joins Mateo. The girl has a conversation with him. Mateo takes her into the room and begins to beat her. Despite the fact that Conchita admits to the prank, between her and the boy yesterday nothing happened. Having beaten the girl pretty badly, he goes to the station for tickets to Paris. Repeating the scene from the beginning, we are transferred to a train compartment where Mateo tells this story to his fellow travelers. At this moment, Conchita enters the compartment with a bucket of water, which she pours on Mateo's head. At the end of the film, Mateo walks with Conchita along the passage. At this time, on the loudspeaker, they are reporting that many terrorist groups have united to carry out a series of terrorist attacks. Through the glass, in one of the salons, Mateo notices how a girl sews up the outfit of newlyweds after their first wedding night. At this moment, there is an explosion, and this is where the film ends. Thank you for watching, and see you on the channel. Did you notice or not, but the film starred two actresses as the embodiment of different personalities in one person. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us which video you'd like to see next. See you in the next one.